Oh, wait a minute. Let me move out of the way so you can see this. I can't move out of the way enough. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh
It's
man, it's
funny
harder to
because
get up.
for a second your chair flashed and then your guitar flashed. Oh, all kinds of things are flashing.
Look how red I am just from getting up off the
What's the most
floor.
exercise you've done in months?
Look at this. This is hysterical.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my goodness. Hey, I just finished at the recommendation, I think, of our good friend Jim Norman, right? He sent us both the book. I got it right here. Art and Fear.
You keep it in your window like that?
Is that what it looked like? How
Yeah, it looked like you pull it out of that window.
that's
Go ahead.
pretty funny. What a great book. Highly, highly recommended. I'll put it in the link below. But here's a quote that I shared with Cole that resonated with the both of us. So, Art and Fear. To the viewer who has little emotional investment in how the work gets done, art made primarily to display technical virtuosity is often beautiful, striking, elegant, and vacant. To the artist who has an emotional investment in everything, it's more a question of which direction to reach. Gosh, when I saw that, man, I was underlining like crazy because I said, this is where we're at. I mean, that word vacant is pretty, I mean, a pretty poignant choice of a word.
Well, so is technical virtuosity. I mean, I've been
Yes.
there where, in my film days, the more complicated your process said something about you were a more serious, you were a better photographer because you had these complicated processes to produce these sharp images.
Well, and then the other part of, and I'll paraphrase and you can help me because I think I sent you this as well. He talked about how, thinking about the technical virtuosity again, he referenced the movement that was created by West Coast photographers
Yes,
primarily,
yes.
where you kind of had to have Ansel Adams' zone system. And if you had to have all those gradations of gray to white to black in your black and white photographer. So the emphasis and the critique then became not about whether there was emotional impact in that photograph, but wow, look how the gradation of tones is perfect in this image. Kind of think about when you've had people come to you and say something about your image, and you'll say in your lecture, all they could see was my image for the rules. This book, Art and Fear, again, was talking about that movement. While it created some good technical virtuosity, it became about that rather than the impact of the photograph, right? And I know you've heard about your images, and look at mine, black. You have no detail in your blacks, John. It would be a much better photograph according to that movement in the 60s and 70s, where they wanted to have detail in the blacks and all these gradations of gray. But
Well,
thankfully,
here's another irony, John. That movement, the F-64 movement, was kind of in response to a previous movement where they had soft focus and I don't know
ah,
how to say it, but they had a different look. And these guys were breaking away to say, you don't need to follow those rules. And then their images and their type of images became the standard that you had to follow or you
isn't
fit
that
in.
interesting? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, didn't
Yeah.
even realize that. So that became the new rule.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't think that that's what Ansel or Edwards or any of those people's
No,
intention were,
no.
but I guess us technical people took it and turned it into that, and
Yeah,
that's
but
unfortunate. Do you, regardless if it fits into this movement or that movement, do you, how you see, because it's not about producing a good image, it's about being expressive. And if you've successfully expressed your feelings, then it's a successful image.
yeah. Well, the Super Bowl, the best commercial was definitely the Chevy commercial.
I don't know it. Tell me about it.
So, again, your input would be great to have, and the feedback we would love to get is, what are your thoughts on this topic?